Hello and welcome to Film Shrapnel. This is your co-host Craig here, and as always, I'm joined by Tobias. How's it going, Tobias?
Okay. I'm recovering food poisoning, so, but I'm okay.
Yeah. You also survived an earthquake recently as well, so it's been rough for you.
It's been a really fucking wild month, I tell you. So, had a massive fucking earthquake. Well, I say massive, it wasn't that big, but the earthquake in Myanmar was pretty awful. And then we got we felt it in Bangkok, had to evacuate the building, and yeah, very, very exciting, very, very stressful.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I got food poisoning, and it's my own fault. I ate a squid. I went squidding. I was on the boat, and then the guys. This is in like Krabi in Thailand, and then these guys are like real men, and then they just grab it and just eat the whole fucking thing with a bit of wasabi and soy sauce, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I want to be a real man, so I did it, and. I've been suffering for this about a week ago. I've been suffering ever since. I'm like proper rough.
Just You're really not a man.
No, real men get food poisoning. Real men do things to get food poisoning.
Okay, if that's how you want to spin it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I did it old boy style. I proper just fucking ate the whole thing in one bite. I won't be doing it again.
Yeah, please don't.
My stomach is so angry with me that I did this.
Yeah. But yeah, today we're doing Megalopolis. Francis Ford Coppola or Coppola? Coppola. It should be Coppola, right? His last and most recent film came out last year. So this is the third film we're doing this season that came out last year.
So something tells me, even if he had plans to make another movie, this will now be his last movie. I don't think he'll get any funding to do anything ever again.
No. Well, not only that, but because he couldn't fund this film anyway. So this just came out of his pocket, and he made a massive loss on it.
$120 million this film cost.
Yeah. He's done.
$120 million.
And, man, it's... and you know, I'll give. Go on.
Right. All I'll say is, it's 120 million that this film cost. He had to sell his wine business or something in order to fund it. When you watch it, it is not. It doesn't look expensive. It looks cheap. It looks like I have a quote here from my notes. Hang on. There's a sequence in it where they get on like a lift going up the side of a building. And my notes here is, Jesus Christ, the side of this building looks bloody awful. I can imagine they filmed it during COVID. but like there's so many shots with like what's very obviously a green screen background. And like the background looks shit. But even if it didn't look shit, the lighting's way off as well. Like the lighting, there's one bit where they're on the top of a building and they're looking out onto the cityscape. And it's like really sunny, but they look like they're in a dark room. Like just like there's zero lighting on them, but the background is so vibrant that it's like, yeah, there's no continuity between what you see in the background and what you get in the foreground. So it feels really, really cheap. Like this is easily the most expensive student film ever made.
I was going to say, like, before we start getting deeper into the film, I really did not like this film at all. Like, usually I don't get so pissed with films, like, because I usually know what to expect. For example, we did Twisted Pair, Neil Breen, very recently.
Oh,
and you hated that, but I didn't mind it so much. I found it quite funny in some ways, but I knew it was going to be shit. This film, I was expecting some stuff to be like redeemable, like maybe it'll be a bit crap here, okay there, have something redeemable about it, but I did not find anything redeemable about it, and I was really like annoyed with this film.
I think there is a couple of things that are redeemable. I personally, there are elements that I do like, but as an overall piece of art, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But we'll get into it. Should we start at the beginning of the film, Craig?
Go on then. Go on, lead us away. What do you remember?
One of the first things I do like is we are, the whole movie is narrated with the silvery, silk, smooth voice of Lawrence Fishburne, and like that's something, right? I like Lawrence Fishburne. He's cool.
But
he's got
I didn't like his role. I didn't know why he was in this movie. Just make him the narrator.
He's Adam Driver's driver.
I think he's supposed to be kind of his assistant or something, but it just, I don't know. I didn't.
What I liked, I'll tell you another thing I really liked. Did you notice a certain someone who was in it from a movie that we did very recently?
Very recently?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't actually. Please tell me.
So we recently did The Warriors. And if you're eagle-eyed, you will spot James Remar, a.k.a. Ajax from Warriors.
Wait, who's he playing in this?
I don't know. I can't really follow most of this movie. This is the thing. I couldn't 100% tell you the plot. Not really. Like, there is a plot. I'll have a good go at explaining it, but I don't know. So like, all right, quickly. Like, let's summarize the plot if we can. Try and fill in the blanks if I leave anything, Craig.
All right.
So you've got this, like, obviously it's trying to sort of show America in parallel with old Rome, and it's sort of creating this sort of off-kilter alternate reality of America as we know it, which is very sort of Roman, very Roman Empire. And then the movie follows, I think he's an architect, but the movie follows an architect who's the nephew of the richest guy in the world, played by John Voight.
I'll give you something there.
He's an architect. Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, because now I'm thinking about redeemable things about this film. There are only two things I can think of, and that is John Voight and... Really? Yeah, and Aubrey Plaza. I kind of liked them in this movie.
I love Aubrey Plaza. I'm a huge Aubrey Plaza fan. I agree. I would say there are three performances in this that I would go so far as to say I liked, or is it just two? So yeah, I agree. I love Aubrey Plaza. She was a highlight for me, and Shia LaBeouf was a highlight for me as well. I like them both in this. Yeah, I really liked him in this. I think he's like, thank fuck he's in this, because he's the only one that's like outstandingly good.
Really? You think that? I felt that way.
I think he's great. This is the problem, right? I know Shia is a questionable person, but I think when it comes to talent, the man has, like, he's a really good little actor. And I think if he hadn't pissed everyone off, he would be flying. I really believe he would be getting all of these great movie roles if he hadn't managed to piss the whole world off. But I do think he is a quality little actor. I'm actually not a huge fan of Shia, but I do anytime he's in something, he's always a highlight for me. I really like that Honey Boy that he wrote as like part of his rehab.
I didn't know he wrote that.
He wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it to be part of his like rehabilitation, like you know, sort of getting to grips with the shit that went down in his childhood and all this. And he plays his own father, and the father's quite abusive and not a very nice person.
You know, I've heard a lot of that was bullshit. That he lied about that.
No,
I don't know if that's true. Yeah,
it's still good. I mean, look, I mean, maybe I liked it more thinking that it was very honest, but he's very good in it. And like, there's very few performances I've seen of him where I'm like, he's crap. I think he's actually a very, very good little actor, and I think he is one of the highlights of this film, as well as Aubrey Plaza. Anyway, so the plot, you got this architect, nephew to big man John Voight, cousin to Shia LaBeouf, and he's invented something called the Megalon device, which he won the Nobel Prize for.
Is it a device or a material? I think it's a material, is it not?
I thought it was a device. They definitely said a device at the beginning of the movie. Maybe the movie forgets halfway through, but I'm sure they mentioned there's a device called the Megalon. But I don't know. Like, yeah, I thought it like designs structures, but it can build it themselves.
I assumed it was the material that everything would be built out of. But it's really not very clear what it does and how it works.
It's not clear. And then you've also got the mayor, who's played by Gus from Breaking Bad. I forget his name.
Giancarlo Esposito, who's in everything these days. He's always in a suit now.
See, I do like him. And he's the mayor. There's some like thing where he may not have killed Adam Driver's wife, but he definitely did something when he was the DA that basically fudged the death records of some such.
He was prosecuting him, wasn't he? So his wife died and he was being prosecuted for it.
Yes. And then basically, and I don't even think it's made clear why he did that or why he hates him, but he does.
More to the point, sorry to butt in again, it's kind of like only really a thing at the beginning of the movie, but then we kind of quickly move past it, and then by the end of it, doesn't matter what the fuck if he killed his wife or not.
This is the thing. There's a lot of plot points in here that you think would be given a lot of weight and you'd spend a lot of time on, and they just sort of brush past it. Like, even towards the end, so cut a long story short, Adam Driver's shagging Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza starts shagging his uncle, John Voight, marries him, but to take his money to be with Adam Driver. Adam Driver's not part of this plan. And then when she realises Adam Driver's not going to be interested in this, she starts fucking Shia LaBeouf and trying to sort of take over the whole thing with Shia LaBeouf. But that plot point is like the last 20 minutes of a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. And only in the last sort of 20 minutes do we have this thing where Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf are sort of conspiring together to take over the bank or some bollocks. They get caught. I mean, I'm skipping way to the head, but way ahead to the end. But like, that is such a small plot point in the movie, but you would imagine that this should be sort of going on throughout the entire film, that like Shia and Aubrey have been in cahoots. But it's literally like they really rush it, that last sort of 20 minutes. Anyway, I digress. I've gotten ahead of myself.
It's okay.
And also, Adam Driver starts fucking Gus Fring's daughter. Basically, that's the whole movie. There's a lot of...
but the main plot, shades
of... That's basically the plot. I don't even know if there's a plot.
Well, how would you summarize it? I would summarize the story as basically a guy wants to redesign New York, and the mayor, who is Giancarlo, doesn't want to do what he... Basically, there's a conflict there. It's how to design New York, how to rebuild it.
I think basically it really comes down to the powerful that are benefiting currently don't want to reshuffle things because then they will lose power down the line, even though it's better for the people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on. And there's a lot of like Shakespearean melodrama going on. There's a lot of
so much.
There's a lot of like Roman stuff going on. There's a lot going on, and it doesn't. You can tell that this movie is incredibly well thought out, but does it actually? No. I think it's obviously. I think Coppola has obviously really thought about all of his choices. I just think he made bad choices. That's basically it.
I don't know, because I feel there's a lot of areas where it feels not enough thought was put behind the idea. Some of the stuff that you've already mentioned about the weight of things, but also just how this megalon works. Yeah. Also, we forgot to mention that Adam Driver has this time-stopping power.
I was just going to say, let's start from the beginning and like work our way through, because all my notes are in like chronological order. So if we just like start from the beginning and just work our way through. But yeah, this time-stopping thing.
No idea what it's supposed to be.
Well, I think it's meant to be like a metaphor for creativity. In that, like, artists, you know, when you are creating, time stops. Like, time is immaterial and irrelevant. And all that's relevant is... I know, it's a load of bollocks, but, like, there's a bit where the mayor's daughter says to him, like, an artist takes a picture and it's frozen in time. A musician does this and yeah, like I think this whole time stop thing is meant to be like inspiration and
it's
drive.
Not really played that way though, I think, because when he uses this power,
it's not really. It's not played as a power either, though, is it?
But it is a power.
But they don't use it as a power. They use it like Adam Driver. The only times he really does it is to sort of early in the film. Can we just go in order, because I can't
go on.
I can't speak about this film in non-chronological order. So at the beginning of the film, he like kind of goes to commit suicide, maybe
something like that, yeah.
And then he goes, "Time, stop!" And he just sort of stops, but everything stops. The traffic below stops. He gets his balance and he clicks his fingers, turns time back on. Now, he's not really doing anything with that besides appreciating that he can. And there's another bit later on where he does it while a building's collapsing. He's not doing it to stop the building collapsing. He's doing it to appreciate how the building collapses. So I don't, like, it's not a power that's being used for any purpose besides appreciating the world around you. If that
and it's
makes
weird
sense.
At that point where he's doing it with the building collapsing, because the mayor's daughter, I forgot her name, sees Julia, yeah, she sees that he stops time.
She's the only one that can. Yeah, she can perceive that he can stop time.
Yeah, and it's like, it just raises more questions about how this power works. How does he stop? What area is it?
I don't think you need to. I think seeing it as a power is incorrect.
Okay, either way though, there has to be some logic behind how it works.
By the way, the Julia is played by Natalie Emmanuel, who
I know her, yeah,
is great. I used to watch her on like British TV all the time.
Yeah, she was in Game of Thrones as well.
Was she in Game of Thrones as well? Well,
never mind.
I'll tell you what I know her from, and this might make you go, "What?" She was on Hollyoaks for fucking years. Huh. So like, and for those of you who don't know what Hollyoaks is, because you might have some like people that aren't from England listening, Hollyoaks was like a spin-off soap opera from another soap opera set in Liverpool called Brookside, and Hollyoaks used to be on. I used to watch Hollyoaks every day, and it was on at 6:30, right after The Simpsons. So that was my weekday watching. 6:00 Simpsons, 6:30 Hollyoaks.
That's when I turned off Channel 4.
And is it? And then 7:00 would roll around. That's when my mum would put on Emmerdale.
No, my mum used to watch that as well.
And then 7:30, you bang on BBC. You put on EastEnders. That's what my mum.
Oh
would put
no,
on.
no!
And then you go back. Then you go back to ITV. 8:00, ready for Coronation Street.
Oh,
and that
fuck.
was it. But this is it. 6:00 and 6:30. That was like the last moment I could do any TV watching, because then it was just for my mum after that, and she'd watch all of the soaps.
Oh god!
But yeah, I quite liked Hollyoaks, and she was great in it. And I have to say, I mean, as misogynistic as it might sound, I think she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
She is very beautiful, yeah.
She's
no doubt
unreal. She's stunning. I can't get over it. Like, hang on, I've got to. Oh no, that was about Aubrey Plaza, because I also think Aubrey Plaza is incredibly stunning. And there's a bit where Adam Driver just leaves the room mid-coitus with Aubrey Plaza, and I'm like, I fucking couldn't do that. If I was in a room with Aubrey Plaza and she is like straddling me, there's no way you could peel me away. You could not peel me away. I don't know what's going on in Adam Driver's mind.
She would pretty much control your life if you were with her.
If I'm perfectly honest, I think she already does. And I've never met her. I love her. I'm a huge Aubrey Plaza fan.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, she's great. What did you think about Adam Driver in this movie?
Dreadful.
I also didn't like him at all.
If I'm perfectly honest, there's only been 2 films that I thought Adam Driver was like likable in, that I enjoyed him in, and that was Marriage Story, which I saw so long ago I don't remember anything about, but I remember thinking, oh, okay, he's not that bad. And then I've mentioned this to you in the past, Craig, but one of my all-time favourite bands, Sparks, made a movie, and he was the main character in that movie. It's called Annette.
Oh.
And I like him in that, but I think I only like him in that because it's a movie made by my favourite band.
Yes, that would make sense.
And like they're very weird. They're very like this movie. They're very like Lynchian in their music. So obviously the movie is also very quirky and unique and different.
Can I also ask a random question as well about Adam Driver? Do women find him attractive?
I don't know, but if they do, there's something wrong with them. He's a weird-looking motherfucker.
He's a weird-looking guy, yeah. He's got a very strange body shape and face.
But I think...
Not to be rude to women, the guy.
Not to try and speak on behalf of all women, but I do think women do like that sort of like unique, no one else in the world looks like you. Like, no, there is no one in the world that looks like Adam Driver, except Adam Driver.
Yeah.
He is very different to look at. And maybe women do like that because of how unique he is to look at. I suppose when he was Kylo Ren, lots of people were swooning over him.
It was the hair, I think.
Yeah, the hair works. I don't think he suits short hair at all. Long hair works better for him. Yeah. Anyway, so going back to my notes, I've written here, Shire is Shire. And that's all I want.
I will say, because I'm not really a big fan of him. I find him a bit annoying sometimes. But I do kind of buy him as someone playing like a MAGA character, like in a movie. I think he could do it very well. Yeah,
he did it well. But I really like him in this.
Can I ask though a question? What the hell is going on with his eyebrows in this movie? Did you notice his eyebrows?
Yeah. How could you not notice his eyebrows?
Why are they like that?
Because he's like Roman stuck-up aristocrat bollocks.
But what happened to them? It's like
I think it's a choice.
Is it? It looks like an accident that went wrong.
No, I think
It's
he
like,
chooses to have no eyebrows.
but he has eyebrows, but it's like almost no hair. But they almost look like more bushy than they should at the same time, which is weird.
There's one scene where there's no eyebrows at all, which means that the other scenes with eyebrows, he's adding them.
Yeah.
Or it was a mistake by the hair and makeup team.
I don't know. But it was very weird.
Let's assume it's not a mistake by the hair and makeup team. Then his character puts the fake ones on, but like he doesn't have any. I think it's a choice. I think he chooses to shave his eyebrows off. I mean, it looks awful, but something.
I don't know.
If you told me that Roman emperors used to do that, I could buy that. Maybe it's something from like Roman history.
I don't think so.
From like these like stuck-up aristocrat children.
I will tell you this though. I did read that apparently Shia. How do you pronounce his last name, by the way? LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Or Shia LaBeouf.
All right then. I heard he clashed with Coppola quite a lot on this when they were filming, and I wonder sometimes if some odd things in this movie that happened were because of clashing with him. You know.
But this is the thing. He's one of the highlights for me. So maybe what this movie needed, was more of the actors to go, this is dumb, let's try something else, because he was one of the highlights for me. So, like, maybe if more actors had stood up to him and gone, no, just because you've made two of the greatest movies of all time 60 years ago, doesn't mean you know what you're doing 50 years ago. Doesn't mean you know what you're doing right now. And, like, I would say Adam Driver, I think, is dreadful in this movie. I think, who else is it? Gus from Breaking Bad. Again, I keep forgetting his name. But he is doing what he generally always does. So you can't say he's bad, but it's not great either. Aubrey Plaza's fantastic. John Voight, I think he's shit in this.
Really? I haven't really seen him act like that before. Maybe that's why I was interested in it. I've always seen him...
Senile?
I never really seen him play, kind of senile, feeble guy. I haven't really seen him act that way before. Not that I like him though much, because apparently he's a bit of a MAGA guy. He's really very Trumpian, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's why him and Angelina haven't spoken in a while.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman is in this.
Why is he in this movie, though? I feel like he does almost nothing.
You do not notice him.
He doesn't need to be there. You could easily get rid of him in this film.
I know. I would say a lot of the actors' salaries, you could have saved so much money by just casting like any other actor. Also, you've got Adrian from Rocky. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her at first.
Well, she's Adam Driver's mum in this.
No. Oh, yes, she is. But she's she's Coppola's sister. Yeah, she's also... So Jason Schwartzman is also in this as well. He's got a small role.
Jason Schwartzman, yes. He is.
I kind of like him. But, he's good.
I'll tell you this. There is a massive Nicolas Cage-shaped hole in this movie.
The only part of the family that wasn't involved.
The only part of the family that wasn't involved and could redeem this piece of shit. Can you imagine Nicolas Cage in this movie? It would be amazing.
You could have replaced him with Adam Driver.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You make Nick Cage the Adam Driver character, suddenly this movie makes sense. So let's talk about this. There's a sequence at the beginning where they do this like casino unveiling at this big event, this big media event. And they're all like being awful and twattish. And Adam Driver, when he comes out, he just starts doing Hamlet.
Yeah, that really grayed on me, by the way. I really hated that scene.
I found it annoying as well. I got quite a few notes on this scene. I've also got the movie discusses how society is misguided. That's a bit ironic. Pot calling the kettle black. because I'd say Coppola was a bit misguided making this movie. And this is where we meet Aubrey Plaza as well, and she's like a news reporter.
You know what her name was in this film?
She sings the jingle of the news station at like when she signs off. Like she literally sings the jingle into the camera. Go on, what's her name in it? I missed it.
Wow Platinum.
Oh, I knew she was Wow because at the end where she fucks Shia LaBeouf, he calls her Auntie Wow. Wow, fucking.
Yeah. Very stupid name. You know what, like, really grated on me in this scene, and then grated on me the whole way through the movie, was that Adam Driver's character is wrong. He, like, this is probably my biggest criticism of this movie, is that, so the Mayor Cicero, Giancarlo Esposito's character, he's basically trying to... Okay, casinos are not nice. They're disgusting. I don't really like casinos. I don't like the idea of gambling. But they would create jobs. They would, like, bring some wealth there. So there is something redeemable in that. Like, you're kind of creating an industry, and he defends that idea, which makes sense to me. But then Adam Driver is talking about making, like, some brand new city. And it just is not. It's like some really abstract idea made of an abstract material. It doesn't make sense, and it just doesn't. Like, it doesn't. Where do people live? Where do people work? What? How does this work? Like, you're creating a brand new abstract idea that we can't fees, and like it won't help people.
Well, the thing is though that he mentions a few times how he's trying to like sort of create a utopia. So I think basically in this sort of utopia, there is no need for jobs, but only education. And that Megalopolis and the people of Megalopolis will teach each other and grow together, and there will be no dystopia. But again, you've got to get people to buy into this concept before you, especially when you're like... suspected murderer of your wife. How are you getting people on point? Like, how are you getting people on your side? It's like if O.J. Simpson had come out and been like, oh, we should like all do this, it'd be really nice. And it's like, yeah, okay, but like, didn't you kill your wife? like I don't think anyone would listen to O.J. Simpson. And yet this guy, he seems to have the public on his side at one point, but then later down the line, the working class, anyway, they turn on him. And then Shia LaBeouf sort of rallies them in a sort of Trumpian kind of fashion.
Yeah, but even on a more basic level, where is the money to build this? Where does it come from?
Coppola's going to finance it, isn't he?
He's going to sell another wine business.
He'll sell the rest of his winery, and then we'll be able to build Megalopolis. So the next scene, Adam Driver goes back to his apartment. His apartment's an absolute mess, and Aubrey Plaza is just stood in the bedroom like a statue. What the fuck's going on there?
I assume that she was doing some strange, like, meditation exercise thing. Otherwise, I don't know.
I thought she was trying to take the piss out of it. But I didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
And then this is when they start, like, getting all hot and heavy, and then he just walks out. And literally in my notes, I couldn't walk out on Aubrey Plaza. Not a chance. By the way, I've written everyone's name as... their acting name. I don't know who any of these... I did not catch anyone's character name at all.
I will say it's easier for me because I watched this movie twice. So I was like, okay, I'm starting to get their names. But yeah, some people are completely blank on me, to be honest.
Like because I didn't remember Natalie Emmanuel's name. So I wrote her in my notes as Mayor's daughter for 3 pages until I remembered that her name was Julia, and then she's Julia in the rest of my notes.
Yeah.
For one, I got 4 pages of notes on this, Craig.
I've also got so many notes on this. I haven't really even looked at many of them yet.
This film is crap.
It is. It's terrible.
So he leaves Aubrey Plaza, who's like very much in love with him, and then Julia goes to visit Adam Driver because she sent him like an angry letter, and then she's regretted it after sending it. But she's basically just trying to defend her dad. Like, she loves Gus Fring. I'm going to keep forgetting his name, so I'm just going to call him Gus.
That's fine.
But it is at this point in my notes where I do write in my notes, I do think the production design for a lot of the scenes is fantastic, and then in a lot of the other scenes is dreadful. But I do think there is some good production design going on, and it's an interesting aesthetic that they bring to the table. But then again, they also ruin it with green screen heavy scenes. I think I've already made that point in all fairness.
Yeah, they really look horrible.
Yeah, the green screen stuff is dreadful. So anyway, she tries to get the letter back. And I wrote here because it's a line I remember. She went, like, he says something about her being entitled, and she goes, "Entitles me? Entitles me? Entitles me?" And this is like the sort of first 20, 25 minutes of the film. And even though it's not even a 25% of the movie, I'd already clocked and put in my notes a lot of this dialogue, a lot of the dialogue throughout the whole thing, it's something being repeated 3 times, and I'm not sure if that's intentional, but there's a lot of that. Did you pick up on that, where like there are so many lines of dialogue that they just repeat themselves 3 times and then they move on?
Like, I don't know. It feels a bit Shakespearean again.
Yeah, a bit Shakespearean, and like I think there was one bit where, and maybe it was Dustin Hoffman, where he goes, concrete,
yeah, yes.
concrete, and steel, and I'm like, you just done it twice in a row. 3 concretes, 3 steels. Was that Dustin?
That was Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, I remember him saying that. I
felt there's a lot of dialogue in this that is done in 3s, and like, don't get me wrong, like one thing that because I'm currently teaching persuasive articles in my English class, and one thing I've said to the students is there's a thing called the rule of 3, and it's when maybe you do like 3 powerful adjectives or 3 descriptive things in a short period of time, because it's more persuasive. Like, come to Thailand, there's golden sand, beautiful crashing waves, and beautiful women, or whatever, but like everything comes in 3s, sort of thing. And I don't know if it's something like that, like it's a language feature of whatever Coppola's trying to do. I did notice, though, at the beginning of the film, it's called Megalopolis, and then underneath it says a fable.
Yes, I did see that too.
Fables generally come with a moral message, and I don't think there was a very clear moral message. And if you think the moral message is in that speech at the end, Adam Driver is not Charlie Chaplin. Like, you go watch The Great Dictator, that's a fucking great speech with a moral message. This one,
forgettable.
It's forgettable, and I think all fables generally come with a message or moral and I don't see one in this movie.
I see one. Marry your enemy's daughter, and then you can get what you want.
But that's not a
He'll
moral,
forgive
is
you.
it? That's just advice to live by.
I guess. There are some...
Also, most fables have talking animals, just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this film was missing, some talking animals. Get Nick Cage to voice... Is there a talking animal?
No, I don't think so. It's not that mad, this movie. This is a very human story.
It's what it needed. It's what it needed. You get Nick Cage to come in and voice a crocodile.
Animals don't exist in New York. Just people.
That's true. I don't think animals exist in this movie at all. No. Like in this universe, there are no animals.
I don't think there's a single animal in this film.
Well, there you go.
I would not be surprised.
Our point is
I was going to say, this movie does at points try to be smart, and it doesn't work.
The whole movie's trying. The whole movie's trying to be smart, but
it feels like it's saying stuff that's like not really well thought out or already said in a kind of way before. Like I'm just thinking now, there's a scene where Mayor Cicero and his wife are having dinner with Caesar, that's Adam Driver's character, and Julia. And they start talking about like, what's it called? Like, how did humans evolve? And they have a debate, like, is it about communication or is it that that humans were more aggressive? And I kind of felt like they both were taking the wrong way.
Stance,
like,
yeah.
Because I felt a bit like Cicero was kind of a bit more socially adept. Like he knows that. What I mean is like he knows that to make a society, you
can't refer to them by their character names. I have no idea you're talking.
Okay. Gus Fring.
Yeah.
Because I know you don't know his actor's name. Yeah. He's saying that you have to be aggressive for that's how humans succeeded with aggression again, and we defeated everything else. But I don't think that his character would actually think like that, because based on what he was trying to do earlier with the city to rebuild it, as like to offer jobs and provide people with some social mobility, it seemed more like he would take the other stance, which Adam Driver's character has, which is about like communication. And I don't think that Adam Driver should take the communication stance either, because he does not seem like someone who can communicate properly. He feels like he's very much totalitarian in his idea. This is what we're doing. We're completely using this. I'm not like working with anybody else. We're not collaborating. It felt very strange. And also, I have to add,
an interesting point.
Just before that scene, Adam Driver's showing Julia, the mayor's wife, some random things that he's invented with Megalon. And he's like trying to get the mayor's wife to walk on this thing. You know, it moves when you stand on it. And like, this is not an impressive thing. This is a walkulator. I think, or moving walkway. These are everywhere. This is not that impressive.
I've recently been to an airport. I'm like, we got those already, mate. We
got
those already. We don't have them everywhere, but you know, it's gonna happen. Like, I didn't. It's just conveyor belt, isn't it? You've invented a conveyor belt. That's what you've done. Also, it's important. I think it's important to note that Adam Driver is only interested in Natalie Emmanuel because she tells him that she saw him stop time.
Yeah,
and as far as he's aware, no one can perceive that. So that's like the only reason he gives her the time of day. In the first place, that's like kicks up. That's the catalyst of them starting their relationship. So again, going back to what we were saying about the time stopping thing, you would think it's more important, like it should have more weight, and yet it's never explained. Like what we've discussed in this pod, it's only like we're just guessing. We don't know. We have no bloody clue. And I just wish that some of this movie was less guesswork for the audience.
Yeah, but I wonder if Coppola thinks the opposite. Let them figure it out. Let them think for themselves.
Well,
there's always that argument that it should make you think.
No, I do. And to be fair, I do get that in concept. Let's not forget that both me and you like David Lynch a lot. And David Lynch does this often, where he'll do something and he's like, fuck, I'm not explaining that. Leave the audience to figure it out. And yet, it doesn't take away from the movie, though, when David Lynch does it. Like Mulholland Drive, like halfway through, the whole movie changes when they open the box and they do not explain what the box is or why it's done this. And as the audience, you might even be left frustrated and you might be eager to get more of an explanation. You might be like, what the fuck just happened? But then you can get back on board very quickly and you're not left going, well, I'd rather just watch something else now. Whereas this film, so many things happen where you're like, God, this just feels like hard work watching this. Like there was a few times where I'm like, if I wasn't doing the podcast on this, I'd just turn it off. There was a few times I felt that way.
I agree. It's like I said earlier, it's trying to be smarter than it really is. It has ideas, but they're already kind of done, or they're just not thought out enough to be intriguing enough for you to want to figure out what it actually means.
But this is it. There are some things that I do like. Like there's a bit where it's before Julia and Adam Driver start their romantic relationship, and she's like following him and like researching the death of his wife and stuff, and she follows him through this like drive around like the slums or something.
I didn't like this bit, by the way. So it's interesting that you said you like it. It really annoyed me. Go on though, please.
Did you not like the Statue of Justice like giving up and holding themselves upright and they just became tired?
No, I didn't like any of the statues because it went nowhere. It's symbolic, but it's symbolic without anything else. It doesn't go anywhere with the story. Why are they like that? Why is there a part of the city that has statues that are kind of like half animated that are falling apart? What does it have to do with anything?
No, they're not. They just look like they are because it's figurative.
But they collapse. But the rest of the movie isn't that figurative, literally, with like things happening like that.
No, come on. The whole movie's figurative. The whole movie's figurative. But
in that way, like I don't know. I just thought it was annoying.
I didn't mind it.
And also, to add to that, while that's happening, Shia's character is like following them. And like he's driving a fucking Jeep limousine with like neon lighting under the bottom.
Yeah.
And like, how the fuck does no one notice that's following someone? You're going to notice that car. If that's incognito, man, it was stupid. And
in this world, you just say you are incognito, and then it means you're incognito in this universe.
I get you. And then like, there's also this whole thing of Julia's character, you like writing things down and investigating, like you said earlier. And then she just kind of gives up at some point, and like she's even like using a recording device. I just found it annoying, to be honest.
I don't think she gives up. I just think that when it's this scene, like he goes to visit his wife, although it's in like an apartment block. But I wasn't sure if this was meant to be like a sci-fi graveyard or something, where like it's like a building, and it shows you like a hologram of your dead person. I don't know. But he goes to see his wife's bedroom, and that's who he buys flowers for. And she watches like, oh, he's still in love with her. And that in her, I think we're meant to take from that that she gives up on investigating him because that's enough evidence for her to go, he didn't kill his wife.
We never find out who did or what happened to
Gus! I think it was
her.
Gus. Yeah.
No, I think, doesn't she thought the car goes off a cliff or something?
Yeah.
She was pregnant with twins.
I mean, it's possible that she killed herself.
Yeah, didn't want to be with Adam Driver any longer.
And who can blame her? But I wrote that down as well. There's a visual scene where it kind of looks like she was pregnant with twins, but they don't explicitly say it. And I was going to ask you, did you pick up on that? So I'm glad you caught it, because I thought I was stretching there.
Nah, I think it was kind of clear. I think it was pretty obvious.
Well, maybe there was a bit that I missed. Aubrey Plaza marries John Voight, and this, I thought that was really unbelievable until I realised that she's just money hungry, and I'm like, okay, now I buy it. And it's the wedding, or I think it's the wedding, but it's at least the party for the wedding. And this is where I wrote down that the children, Shia LaBeouf and his sisters, are called Claude, Claudine, and Claudette.
Yeah, well, I think he's even called Claudio.
Right. Well, name. I wrote down in my notes, Francis, this isn't clever. Why? You're not clever. I know you think you are, but this isn't clever.
Yeah.
And I actually really love the dress that Shia wears. I think he looks fabulous. Maybe I've got a crush on Shia LaBeouf.
I think you might do, yeah.
Maybe, because I really liked him in this movie. And he's the only thing I like. We get some Ben-Hur shit. That's always fun. I like Ben-Hur. I like Ben-Hur way more than this movie, and it's twice as long. Then we get Adrian from Rocky, who's Adam Driver's mum.
Yes.
And I've written down here, sexuality is being discussed an awful lot by the media. There was a couple of questions being asked to Adam Driver as he walked in, and one of them was, do you prefer girls? This is a media outlet asking him, do you like girls? Initially I was like, that's a bit weird. But then I'm like, well, actually, no, it's not weird. We do that to Hollywood celebrities now in real life. So I think the fact that it was so out of nowhere is actually quite a good allegory for how we do it in real life.
Okay.
Have you seen that clip of Tom Hardy where they ask him, is he gay? And he's like, why? He doesn't answer. He's like, why? And they're like, we just want to know. And he's like, well, if I am, it's not your business or whatever. He handles it really well. But it's true. Why is this fascination of powerful people or celebrities? Why do we have this fascination with their personal life?
Okay, I get you. That's true. But I just find it funny because they're people working in the government. He's head of architecture or design or some bullshit to do with how the city functions. He's effectively a government worker.
No, there was a specific thing they used, design something.
City planner or something. I don't know. But I just found it very strange that they were trying to, the movie tries to put that on these types of people. They're all rock stars. It felt very this TMZ, but for I don't know, government workers. Yeah, and I just thought it was. At least, I don't know, maybe it's more an American way of looking at it, but I don't think we would do this so much in Europe.
I think that's more of the Roman thing.
Yeah, but I feel this whole idea of trying to compare the US to ancient Rome is a bit
inaccurate.
It feels a bit. It's inaccurate, but also it feels like kind of dated. Like I can imagine that idea being made into a film like 40, 50. Yeah, I could imagine it then, especially.
When Francis Ford Coppola was good at making movies, he could have done this and it might have been good. And you cast Nick Cage.
Yes.
To be fair, though, they do make drugs and alcohol fun.
Drugs
and alcohol look real fun. Yeah, you can get punched in the face and you don't even realise. That's fun.
And then somehow you're still really messed up and beat the crap out of someone else who's attacking you just because you're the main character in the movie.
Yeah. And then before you can even wake up, you get arrested for statutory rape. I mean, you haven't even sobered up yet. But yeah, so there's a sequence where like Julia is like miming a tether between her and Adam Driver. What did you think of that sequence?
Stupid. I didn't get it. Maybe, am I dumb that I don't get it, or is the movie dumb because it doesn't make sense?
No, I think maybe a bit of both. In that, like, I think it's obvious that it's more like she's trying to keep an eye on him, but it's like he's off the rails at this point. He's drugged up and boozed up. He's like, and he knows she's following.
Why is he like that though? Because what is he sad that he lost Aubrey to his grandfather, or is there something else that's not clear? I don't really see why he's like this.
No, because he just went to see his wife. He's still hung up on his dead wife.
Ah, you think it's because of that? I thought there was some time went by here.
I mean, does it matter? It's all shit.
If it was immediately after, okay, I get it. But the way I saw it, I assumed some time had passed, and for me, it wasn't very clear why he needed to get so messed up to be there.
I thought it was because he misses his wife, but maybe I'm wrong. But there's a live performance in the middle of this party. I just want to point this one out, Craig. So there's this live performance. Man. There's the circus, but then you've got this singer who comes on, and then she gets copied or cloned or whatever as the song builds. But she's sat on like a crescent moon. And I've got a point, and here, this is my notes. In ancient Rome, people used to perform the DreamWorks logo. But then all these old farts start bidding. What are they bidding on? Are they bidding on her virginity? Pure.
Yes, because she's supposed to be a virgin or something. And they're
contributing
to keep her pure. It was very stupid.
They're bidding on her virginity to keep her pure.
Like, to going to give her money so she stays celibate, I think. Yes.
Not to fuck her.
No, I think it's to stay a virgin, which still doesn't make complete sense.
But then the video comes on where Adam Driver's been fucking her.
Yeah, which is doctored, and it's not real, but still it ruins her image because people think, she's not a virgin then. But also there's some other bullshit going on.
She wasn't a virgin, though, was she?
Well, not even just that. So for some reason, Julia's character, one of her friends, goes and raids like some bureaucracy place somewhere, digs out her documents, find out she wasn't born in America, and she's actually like 5 years older than she's. I think Malaysian.
She's
or something.
Indonesian. She's Indonesian, and she's
South Asia,
and she's 23 instead of 18 or something.
Yeah, and then. There's some little bit where like there's a news thing happening where like her career is kind of ended and it doesn't go anywhere. It just ends. We just shift that character out of focus and then we continue with this story.
Yeah, she never shows up again, does she?
It could easily have cut a lot of that. And also there's a whole thing here. So when they find out that she's not a virgin, then the crowd starts going mad and you have this kind of like January 6th kind of moment, like where these guys with the red hats are trying to climb up on the stage or something. And I'm just thinking, but why would people give a crap, really? Like, does it really mean that much? I don't think it really means anything. Who cares?
Can we think of like any public figures nowadays that are like we sort of praise for being virginal?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't give a shit about
No, of course
how
we
people
don't give
conduct themselves.
Yeah, no, of course we don't give a shit. But are there any celebrities that are sort of held in high regard and an element of that is their sort of innocence?
Maybe in some circles.
Hannah Montana, maybe? Before she was Miley, before Miley Cyrus stuck a tongue out, she was quite innocent.
You think they're doing something? They're trying to parody that part of culture, but I think that's been like.
I think maybe they're doing that episode of South Park, with Britney Spears.
But like that's so. Again, it's an idea that's very done, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is the thing. I think a lot of this movie has been done before, and in similar ways as well. But when it's all put together, it feels like a unique mess.
Yeah.
I do like. There's one shot when they're talking about the video being faked. It's when Natalie Emmanuel goes to see Gus Fring, and his desk in his office is like sinking in sand. I really like this image. I really like the image. Yeah, I did like that. Yeah.
What did you think about the time when I'm going back almost to the beginning now, when Adam Driver showed Julia his plan for the city, and it's just all this junk on the floor, and she walks through it, and somehow she feels it. Like, this felt very stupid to me.
Yeah, she got to close her eyes. Give me your hand, darling. Do you feel my heart beating? I mean, what is it that he said? Let me look in my notes. I definitely wrote something down about it. I think he. So she sees like this utopian city, but she has to walk through it with her eyes closed. And he's like, "Tell me what you see." And I think I mentioned it earlier. It's like educating the people, but the people educating the city. So the city and the people sort of become symbiotic almost, which is a lovely idea. But in practice, how the fuck do you do that? I suppose you need a new element and a Nobel Peace Prize winning device that no one's got. Also, I think it's worth pointing out that the video of Adam Driver fucking the Virgin was put out there by Shia LaBeouf. We didn't mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Shia LaBeouf is trying to he's been living in his shadow since they were kids, and he's trying to oust him.
We should mention here that they're both like potential, not only, but they could inherit from their uncle.
Yeah, control
the grandfather,
of
sorry. Yeah.
And
so he wants to get rid of him.
And John Voight does suspect Shia of foul play as well. He doesn't trust him. But, Francis Ford Coppola really wants to be David Lynch, doesn't he?
I mentioned that not long ago. So I watched this film twice because we were going to record before, but then Tobias, you had an earthquake, so we stopped. We didn't go ahead with it. And so I thought, in the meantime, while we have a little bit of time off, I would watch something else from Coppola, something I hadn't seen, which was The Conversation. And it's really good. I really like that film.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and he, by the way, that came out in the same year that he did Godfather Part 2, I think, as well. So that's just insane.
What a year.
Yeah. And then like, how do we get to this? How did he fall off the rails so much? Like, maybe I need to see some more of his films to see how they started to decline. Maybe there is something there, that indicates it.
Maybe this film needed Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's very good in The Conversation, yeah.
He's great in the conversation. So yeah, this film is just awful. I'm just going to run because we're already way over what we planned to record for this, and I'm just going to go through some notes real quick, Craig. But like we've still got a whole half of the movie to talk about. There's a bit where Julia starts floating a ball in the bedroom. Do you remember that?
I do. Why is that happening?
Terrible. Number one, what's fucking going on? Number two, who did that CGI and never let them work in Hollywood again? There's a bit where Adam Driver kisses his mum's hand and she acts like he fucking bit a finger off.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to give him some character depth by giving him a mother that's always disappointed with him, and it just felt very weird. Like that's not character development. And again, it feels like something that's been done better in other films and other stories.
And then you get like a sort of apocalyptic, like Armageddon moment where a satellite starts crashing down onto the city.
Very convenient. If you want
very
to
convenient. You can't help but think though, if that happens, you're going to need some device that can build a city real fast, aren't you?
Hey.
So maybe Adam Driver's the bad guy.
Yeah, maybe he's the one who pulled it down. I don't know. Yeah.
By the way, he's like a Bond-level villain in this.
It feels a bit like it sometimes. And by the way, does anybody care about the people that died? I guess we don't really care.
Does Francis Ford Coppola care? He doesn't. He doesn't show it properly. He just shows like silhouettes on sides of buildings going. Like they look more like they're dancing than writhing around on fire. So, like, does even Francis Ford Coppola care? Because if you give it any sort of weight, you slow down the story, and he needs to move on.
Yeah,
and then you get this sort of like split screen moment of like montages, like three sections of the screen split, and I've written in my notes, it's like
I didn't like it.
What this in my notes I've literally written, this is Hulk from the 2002 level film editing. Have you seen Ang Lee's Hulk movie?
What? So yeah, we're talking early 2000s then. Yeah. I remember that one.
2002, and like every now and again, everything just goes into split screen. And when they asked Ang Lee about it, they were like, "This doesn't work. Why did you do this?" And he went, "Oh, well, I was trying to sort of like replicate a comic book. But yeah, I get that. I'd understand if people don't like it. But there's at least thought behind it. This one, it's the same kind of film editing, but it doesn't work, and there's no thought behind it. He just thinks it looks good. That's what I'm sure. I'm sure that's what Francis Ford Coppola's thinking. Oh, this looks great, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I hate the drawings. I hate this abstract, just lines. Like it doesn't mean anything. This is not.
If you're going to cut a film up with like illustrations, call Terry Gilliam up, please.
Invent something new.
Or do something new.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. It felt very stupid to me. Very, very stupid.
And then after this montage, it seems to be like a huge jump in time because now Adam Driver and Natalie Emmanuel are like living together in a house made of flowers. I think it looked like it was made out of giant flowers. And
I don't know.
This was the scene you were talking about earlier, where they debate about like utopias and dystopias.
Oh yes, this house. Yes,
Gus is all annoyed about their baby and stuff.
Yeah.
But after that, there's a sequence where Shia LaBeouf is going all MAGA and going Trumpy, but there is a tree stump. Did you notice the tree stump?
Yes, I did. Why does it have a swastika in it?
It's carved into a swastika.
But why is it there? We see it for like a second, and then we move on, and then nothing is ever explained about it. It just doesn't go anywhere.
It's just some trees in this universe grow into swastika shapes. I guess.
I don't know. I also was very confused why that was there. Even on second viewing, I still have no idea why that was there.
Well, it's because Shire is building traction with the working class the way Trump is. And let's be honest, Trump is often cited as like the next Hitler. So I think that's what they're trying to say.
Again, something that's kind of already been said. And if you're going to say it again, at least say it a bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, just don't have it as like a throwaway tree stump where it's like if you blink, you miss that it looks like a swastika.
I don't know.
But this is the point of the movie where Gus approaches Driver and basically says to him, here's the deal. Leave Julia and I will give you public backing and private backing. And as an insurance policy, here is a signed confession to my involvement with doctoring your wife's death stuff.
But in the end, though, I mean, it doesn't lead anywhere. I mean, really,
it doesn't lead anywhere.
Driver still gets what he wants, and the mayor just kind of backs off eventually.
Yeah, and you know what? By the end of the movie, they're all on a stage kissing their significant other, having a good laugh, and it's like, hang on a minute, this guy's gotten away with bending the justice system to his will, and he still gets a happy ending. Fuck you, Gus.
And that scene, that looks horrible, by the way. It looks so bad when they're standing on this kind of like invisible floor thing. I don't know what they're supposed to be on. And it's just too happy ending. There's something not right there. And then they put the baby down and a carpet just appears and they put the baby on it. And it looks real. It looks, man, it's like almost a level of Neil Breen in Twisted Pair.
Yes, I agree. And the baby can stop time.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that also happens.
Yeah.
That's really a disaster, man. If you had a baby that could stop time, man, how many things could go fucking wrong?
Well, you'd like to think that it could learn to look after itself.
Well, it has enough time.
Give it enough time, yeah. You skip all the baby shit. Then there's a bit where Adam Driver goes to meet Aubrey Plaza, who does mention this whole plan of hers where she wants to basically take John Voight for everything he's worth and then run off with Adam Driver. Oh, am I forgetting a bit?
You're forgetting where he gets shot in the face.
No.
And then he has that weird mask. Is it after?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's not wearing a jacket and he gives her his jacket. Yeah.
He gives her a jacket and this is the only part of this scene I wrote in my notes. Apparently, he smells like sandalwood and citrus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a nice smell.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
If you came to me, if I met up with you, Craig, and you smelt a little bit like orange, I'd be like, mate, are you all right? Is this like a new shampoo or something? I wouldn't say this smells nice. What does sandalwood smell like?
Or just having anything smell woody and orangey or citrusy doesn't sound.
Is it you smell like appealing. You smell like a barbecue, like that. I'd smell you. I'd go. I'm hungry now. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's so sexy.
I was putting together some IKEA furniture and felt like an orange midway through.
I imagine if Jesus had a fruit salad, he'd smell like this.
While on the cross.
He was a carpenter, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Anyway, so a kid shoots Adam Driver through the face, as you were saying, and he goes full on Phantom of the Opera. And
looks terrible.
It's worth pointing out, Adam Driver survived getting shot in the fucking face.
Loses part of his face in that process as well.
Not by the end of the movie, he's got his face back. But can anyone get shot in the face and survive?
Yeah, it does happen. Not a very high chance.
in
but
the
it can
eye,
happen.
in the eye, but point blank in the eye. You ain't surviving that.
Maybe it was BB gun.
It's just reminding me of the end of Vampire's Kiss.
What happens there? I forgot.
When he shoots himself in the mouth with the blank and then goes, boo-hoo! Boo-hoo!
By the way, when that whole thing happened with the kid, I don't know. Did you feel that it was that was gonna happen? The kid was gonna shoot him.
No, but when it did happen, I didn't care.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It didn't really have much of an impact. Probably would have had an impact before. I don't know. But, yeah, it doesn't work yet.
Also, like the flashes of the hospital where he's like getting the surgery, the reconstructive surgery. Why the fuck have they let his wife in to a surgery theatre, like an operating? You're not allowed. Doesn't matter how much in love with each other you are. You're not allowed into an operating theatre while they're like desperately trying to save something. Like, you've got to get out of the way. You're not allowed in there, and yet she's in there, like watching over him and shit. I just think it's mental that he survived the bullet to the face. And also, once again, we have Shia LaBeouf to thank for this. His cohort. He was the one that organised the shooting. But then Shia's still pissed off because it's like, you've turned Adam Driver into a martyr. Fuck you. Like little bitch boy. I really like Shia.
He has some character development in this, to be fair.
He's the only character.
Yeah.
He's not the main character, but he's the only character that has some character. There's another bit here where he's got like the Phantom of the Opera bandages on. He says no 3 times in like a very no sort of thing. I can't remember exactly how he said it. But at this point in the film, in my notes, it literally says, "Thank God Shia LaBeouf is in this movie." Honestly, I think I'd have turned it off. I
probably wouldn't watch this either.
This is the part of the film where he's like come to see John Voight about his frozen accounts, and Shia LaBeouf, before John Voight comes out, Shia LaBeouf is like gloating, and like he gives him a kiss on the head. And like he's just doing his Shia LaBeouf thing, and this is when I wrote this is it. Like, he is the best thing in this movie for me. But maybe everyone disagrees with me on that. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see. We should ask.
Yeah, everyone comment below. Do you just type the word agree 3 times or disagree 3 times? Whether you agree or disagree that Shia LaBeouf is actually the only good thing in this movie, or one of the few good things in this movie, as well as Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza, give me another 3 agrees for Aubrey Plaza, or another 3 disagrees for Aubrey Plaza. I really liked Aubrey Plaza in this, and also after the whole frozen accounts scene, this is the scene right when Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf start fucking. There's a bit where Shia LaBeouf is walking towards camera, presumably to his apartment or office or something like that, and he gives someone behind him his jacket, and then he takes off his hat and just throws his hat on the floor and says, "Pick up my hat." But then the guy behind him picks up his hat, then throws his own hat on the floor, and then says to the guy behind him, "Pick up my hat." Then that guy throws his hat on the floor, picks it up, like, "Pick up my hat." And again, remember, it's in 3s. Still in 3s.
Maybe there's something there.
I really like that. That was like, that's one of the few things where I'm like, that's good. I actually would go so far as to say that was a good little sequence. I enjoyed that. And I also think the sex scene between Shia and Aubrey is also a very good sequence. It's quite raunchy.
The 2 best actors.
You've got the 2 best actors in the whole film doing it. It's very raunchy, but that's not what makes it good. Like, it's Like Aubrey Plaza, as much as Shia is really into the sex, Aubrey is very stoic, and she is just like saying to him, "This is the plan," while fucking, and she doesn't seem to be remotely engaged with the sex at all, even though she's doing it in a sexy way. Like, she is being very seductive, but what she's saying is very like, emotionless, and it's like, this is the plan, this is what you got to do, and this is what we're going to be doing together to get the power, sort of thing. And I really like this sequence. I especially love that he keeps calling her Auntie Wow while smashing her. I think that's really funny.
Can I just also say one quick thing as well? So did you notice at the end of this film that Coppola dedicated this movie to his wife?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about this specific scene where basically Wow is seducing Claudio, and I was thinking, that's I don't know. I feel a bit. Wouldn't you feel a bit funny? Oh, thanks for making that movie for me.
No, maybe before she died. And I mean, okay, before I make this joke, I'm going to apologise to Francis Ford Coppola now, before making the joke. Before she died, maybe they had like a hot and heavy shag. And while Francis Ford Coppola was really into the sex, she was like, "You're going to invest $120 million into this movie, and it's going to be the best thing you've ever made in your life." Oh, dear. Sorry for that joke, Francis. I do apologise. Notice that Gus Fring's character is also called Francis.
Yes.
Yes. I wonder what he was doing with that. But then we have another split in three sequence, montage, if you will, where we see Hanukkah and Christmas. We see Shia's takeover to be a success. He's also inciting violence in the streets to the point where the mayor and his daughter, they have to go in a train station that's in City Hall to escape the violence. So look, let's just skip to this great scene. Are you ready? Best scene in the movie. So Shia LaBeouf and Aubrey Plaza, who were dressed as like Julius Caesar and Cleopatra, by the way, they go visit John Voight in bed, who has gone a bit senile after the takeover of the bank that Aubrey and Shia have colluded to do. And John Voight he's laying in bed, and he's wearing like kind of like a Robin Hood hat, and it looks like he has an erection. And the line is, "What do you think of this boner I got?" And then he pulls the duvet off, and it's actually a tiny bow and arrow. And when it's revealed, if you look, they've put like a visual effect on the end of the arrow, like a ding.
No, I didn't spot that. No, did they do that?
It's so fucking shit. It's so awful. Like, it sparkles, like the tip of the arrow sparkles. And then he just immediately shoots Aubrey Plaza in the chest. And Shia LaBeouf takes 2 arrows to the butt, but manages to get away. This film, like this sequence, I think it just epitomizes this film in a nutshell. Like, it's fucking wacky. It's fucking... What do you think of this boner I got? Fucking wild. Wild. $120 million. Wild.
Gone. Vanished.
And you can tell Francis Ford Coppola is like incredibly proud of this until it came out and he got the public's perception of it. And now I reckon he wishes he'd never bothered.
It's quite sad, isn't it? Really, isn't it?
He has absolutely ruined his career with this.
At the end of it as well, because what is he now? 80-something?
Yeah, I believe so. John Voight says to his lawyer or whatever that in his will he will leave everything to the construction of Megalopolis and to Adam Driver. So basically Megalopolis will rise and this utopia will come into being. And then we have this big speech at the end where Adam Driver talks about how amazing he is, and how shit everyone else is, and it's really noble of him. And then they all kiss on a transparent stage. The baby stops time, and that's the end of the fucking movie.
That's it, basically. Yeah. Man, I really didn't like this movie. This is one of the movies I have disliked the most, and we have watched some bad movies.
It needed podcast. Nick Cage, man. I'm telling you, Nick Cage would have saved this movie. I'm telling you, Nick Cage would make this movie good.
Maybe at least 2 Cages, I don't know.
Oh, could you imagine every character was played by Nick Cage? Oh, this movie would be amazing. Then you'd get it, right? If you did something that wild, then this movie suddenly would work.
Yeah.
But I think even aesthetically, it's not very pleasing.
No.
The visuals are bad, the acting. I think everyone, I think all the actors commit. And everyone does a job. They all commit to what they're doing. And you've got a couple of cases where it does work. Like for me, Shia LaBeouf works. For both of us, Aubrey Plaza works. Aubrey Plaza is already quite a weird, quirky actress. Even as a human being in real life, she's quite weird and quirky. A big reason why I've always liked her. But is that Francis Ford Coppola doesn't usually write his movies, does he? He didn't write Godfather. He didn't write Apocalypse Now. He didn't write The Conversation. He didn't.
I think he might have written The Conversation.
Let me quickly look it up.
I'm looking now.
Because all I'll say is, I don't think he can write. He wrote The Conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a good film and it's well written, but this film is written by Francis Ford Coppola, and I do not think the writing is very good. In fact, I would go so far as to saying the writing is appalling.
Yeah, I would agree. Should we rate this one? Because I already know what I'm going to rate this one. I already know what the IMDb rating is, and I have things to say.
I do have the IMDb rating in front of me now. Well, okay, look. I think it's badly written. I think there are in a 2.5 hour movie there shouldn't be more, there should be an awful lot more than just 5 or 6 directorial flourishes that you can appreciate. Otherwise, it's not very well directed either. I think there should be with a cast this stacked. There should definitely be more than Shia LaBeouf and Aubrey Plaza that I'm enjoying. There's an awful lot to dislike. There's not an awful lot to like. It's not good. Although I think I'm going to be generous with my rating.
Really?
I mean, you don't know what my rating is. I've got the IMDb here. The IMDb rating is 4.7 out of 10.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I would go up to a 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I would put this as a 3. I think it's overrated. I think it's worse than what IMDb says.
I think there's enough there for it to be just about worth watching. but it's still bad. And
you also said
like I will.
You also said you would watch it if it wasn't for the podcast, though.
Yeah, the fact that you've watched it twice is insane to me.
I know.
Like, actually,
I've done
insane.
my duty now.
I'll never watch this again. But I'm glad I've watched it. I'm sad it was made. But you need to watch it. If you're a film fan, you need to watch it. Because I think only really avid film lovers can truly appreciate just how bad it is. Like, I think if you're not a huge film... Let's say you've never watched a David Lynch film in your life. You'll watch this film and you'll go, this is all bullshit. Doesn't make sense. If you're into stuff like David Lynch, you go into this movie going, I know what to look for. I know this is going to be an off-kilter movie. I know they're experimenting with form. Maybe I'm the right person to sort of find something to enjoy about it. And then you'll watch it and you'll go, no, this is fucking dreadful. But you'll be able to appreciate how dreadful. So that's why it's worth watching. And it's sad as well. It's quite sad that such a good filmmaker can finish his career with such a dreadful, dreadful movie when he has full creative control. That's the wildest thing, I think, is that he had full creative control and he still did this. That's nuts.
It's very sad. It's very sad. It's a tragedy, really.
A
Not
Roman tragedy.
But the sad thing is that I don't know how much money he's got left. Maybe he might still be pretty rich. I don't know. But if he really sank everything in, and now he might have almost nothing.
Unless he spent most of his money getting Nick Cage out of debt. It was nominated for 18 awards. Would you like to discuss this?
Are they all Razzies?
No.
Go on then.
It was nominated for the Saturn Award Best Science Fiction Film.
Really?
It was nominated for the Palme d'Or.
Really?
Yep. It was nominated for Best Contemporary Hairstyling. I mean, that's a different thing. The Artisan Award. However, here are the Razzie nominations.
Oh, here we go.
So that's 3 proper ones. Here's the Razzie ones. Nominated for Worst Picture at the Razzie Awards. Did not win it.
Oh.
I'm surprised. However, Francis Ford Coppola did pick up Worst Director at the Razzies.
Oh, sad.
I can't believe this. Shia LaBeouf was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor. I really liked him. And you won't believe this, but the winner of Worst Supporting Actor went to Jon Voight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Worst on-screen combo?
Right. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's a thing, apparently. Nominated was the entire cast of Megalopolis. And Francis Ford Coppola was also nominated for Worst Screenplay, but he didn't win.
No.
Now,
that's not surprising.
Here you go. The International Cinephile Society Awards. Aubrey Plaza got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and the movie itself came 16th place in Best Picture of the Year. The International Film Music Award, Best Original Score, got a nomination for that. The Gallagher Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics nominated it for Campy Flick of the Year.
Okay.
The Golden Schmoes Award nominated
Never
it
heard
for
of that.
Never heard of it. nominated it for Trippiest Movie of the Year.
Really?
The Hawaii Film Critics Society nominated it for Best Overlooked Film.
Really? Overlooked?
Yep. Overlooked. The Philadelphia Film Critics Circle Awards nominated Aubrey Plaza for Best Supporting Actress, and she was second place.
Okay.
The Portland's Critics Association Award nominated it for Best Science Fiction Feature.
There's so much sci-fi out there, though, these days. How can this be anywhere up there? I don't get it.
And finally, the last award that it was nominated for, the Michigan Movie Critics Guild Award, nominated Francis Ford Coppola for the award for film excellence.
Well, if that's like a legacy thing, maybe I can get it. But for this film,
just the making of this film showed his excellence. I think is what they meant by that.
I think it shows pretty much the opposite. Fuck.
So that's all the awards. But the 2 awards it won were Razzies.
Makes sense.
Well,
all right, man.
That's it. We talked about this movie almost as long as the movie is.
Yeah.
It's dreadful. If you are listening and you would like our advice, don't watch it.
Yeah. Don't do that to yourself. We've done it to ourselves.
So you don't have to. We're like nostalgia critic up in this motherfucker. We watched it so you don't have to. So please, for the love of God, listen to the podcast, but don't waste your time watching this movie unless you want more context to this particular episode.
Yeah, but if you really want to see it for yourself.
If you're watching it for the experience, there's not a good experience waiting for you. So I wouldn't bother. Unless you're watching it to be a Shia LaBeouf completionist and watch all of his movies. Then it's worth it.
Yeah. But if you're trying to watch all of Coppola's movies, you can skip this one for sure.
Skip it, yeah. This ruins the legacy.
Yeah, makes you sad.
Right,
all right, man.
Well, that's that. And we are Film Shrapnel. That was Megalopolis. Do go and follow us all on the social medias at Film Shrapnel, capital F, capital S. We're on Twitters or the X's. Do we have an OnlyFans account yet, Craig?
Still haven't got there yet, but we're working on it.
I've just taken a picture of my feet, so I'll send it to you. I'll leave it with you.
Okay.
All right. Check out this boner I got. Go check us out on YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. Craig, do you have anything you want to say to the listeners?
No, guys. Thanks for listening. Movie's a bit of a bombshell, but yeah, thanks for listening to us, and stay tuned for more coming up soon.
Let's hope that the next one will be actually good.
I hope so.
We need to stop watching bad movies. We've done a Neil Breen. We've done this. Now we need to do something more fun. We've got to.
Something engaging, something positive.
Yeah. And you guys can keep up to date on the Twitters, so we'll let you know on Twitter what's coming next. We haven't decided yet. And until next time, stop looking at this boner I got. Remember, no. Until next time, concrete, and steel.
All right, guys, take it easy. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Shrapnel.